I don't know about you, but some of my best ideas come when I'm least expecting it. Yes, sometimes they happen when I'm on the toilet or when I've just hopped in the shower or right before I fall asleep or wake up in this sort of liminal space. But this episode is about cultivating your daydreamer, your ability to daydream and tap into the symbolic, imaginal space of your soul to nourish who you are, your intuition, and the depths of what wants to come through and reveal itself through you. Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Embody Podcast, a show about remembering and embodying your true nature, inner wisdom, embodied healing, and self-love. My name is Candice Wu, and I'm a holistic healing facilitator, intuitive coach, and artist sharing my personal journey of vulnerability, offering meditations and guided healing support, and having co-creative conversations with healers and wellness practitioners from all over the world. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Last week, we had our 100th episode of the Embody Podcast with Roxanne Partridge. So we had our 100th birthday with a very special person that actually has the same exact birthday to the year as I do, within 6 hours. So this episode is episode 101, which is crazy. So we broke 100. Thanks for joining in the journey with me and being here. And I thought it would be just wonderful to follow up with this episode about daydreaming. Daydreaming has been really present with me because I've wanted more space to do it. And I know that when I leave time to be without agenda, to release my attention on the outer things of the world, my daily tasks, to turn off that mental logic and let the soul logic come online, I receive and see so much juiciness, vibrancy, nourishment, and I get lots of awesome ideas, some that I just feel delighted in the moment and just discard very quickly, and some that I take with me into the next year. And some that just momentarily give me pleasure or, entertainment. But also I get a lot of connection with the depth of who I am, my intuition, my inner self, the story of who I am and the mystery of my experience. And that leaves me feeling very nourished, grounded, and plugged into my soul. And with Roxanne Partridge coming on the show last week, I felt even more inspired to be in that imaginal, symbolic, juicy space of the unconscious, the underworld, in the underbellies of our being and what lives under the surface, what wants to be seen, revealed, unfurled, the wild nature that we are. And so daydreaming was the direction I went. So before we jump into this, I want to mention that the Ally with Death audio experiential has been out there a couple of weeks now, and it's this very beautifully stirring and provocative audio soundtrack with handpan music by my friend Larry St. Germain. It's gorgeous, and it connects up with my voice, prompting you through a series of a simulation and series of questions, leading you through your own death so that you face the things that want to be let go and you take a good look at them. We end and release what is already decaying or needs to die to create the space for new life and to look at what is meaningful for you now and where is your playful, curious, sensing, intuitive self, and to let that shine up so that you can really live your life in a beautiful way coming up in this next couple of weeks and into the spring. And that sale is going to be from December 15th, 2019 until January 6th, 2020. So it's a lovely way to bring in your new year and to set forth the seeds that will be planted. And I know that some people are using this with a loved one as a ceremony or ritual before winter sets in, and some are making some plans to do this on a special night. I know that some people have even done it on New Year's Eve, which is just a cool time to do it. And some do this on the new moon or at some point in their moon cycle. Whenever you do it, I truly recommend it if you want to release the weight that has been building up inside of you, the clutter, and to cleanse so that you feel alive in the present and vibrant like who you are. You can find this at candicewho.com/death. And again, the sale is from December 15th through January 6th. So enjoy as the deaths that we allow inside of ourselves bring us new life. And as we jump into this episode, I want to just ask you, is this a time and space for you to go inward? Is your energy moving more inward for you, or is it going more outward? Is it a time to do things in your outer world, put your energy out there, connect with others more so? For me right now, it's been going inward and hibernating. And in that little space, I love to cook home cooked foods and create things, sleep a lot, watch something that feels soothing to watch, like something on Netflix. I love to have intimate conversations with friends and loved ones. And it's harder for me to reach out to new people or to put my energy outward in workshops and things like that. And doing things that require my energy to move more outward. Sometimes it's been hard to honor that as I have this little part of my mind that thinks, oh, you should be doing something more. You should be doing X, Y, and Z. And I just work with talking to that part of me and seeing what they have in store or what they have thought for me. And usually it just needs a little update about what it's safe to do now in my life and what it's time for. So I invite you to do the same, is to connect with where your energy really wants to be and how it wants to be, and to make an agreement with yourself that that is allowed, that you want that, and to look at the parts of you that may have something to say against that. All of those parts of you have some message for you, and it's important to hear them all out. At least to hear them, and then you get to decide how to negotiate that, or what wants healing and what wants to be honored. So this is perfect for our topic today of daydreaming. And for me, daydreaming is really about leaving space for the unexpected. When we set out with our to-do lists, our agendas, what our logical mind wants to do in this functional, practical world, which is a good thing. When we do that every minute of the day, there's very little space for imagination, for play, for curiosity, sensing, and intuition to flourish and make its own way towards us, reach us, and touch our hearts. When we have that agenda, it's hard for something unplanned to come in, something new or spontaneous, unimaginable. Daydreaming is like spending time allowing your soul to dance, allowing your imaginal and symbolic self through images, feelings, senses, sensation in the body, a hit of knowing, a song, a sound, for all that to emerge and make its way to consciousness, for the personal, archetypal, collective, unconscious realms to have a place through us that shows us the depths of who we are, the depths of what wants to be looked at, what wants attention. And the depths of the soul do not care about time, space, or mental logic. And so in that space, we let our mind rest, and that gives the space of freedom, the breathing room that our spirit wants. It gives our spirit the space to open up, to vibrate at the essence of your core being, of course, with practice, and to align you with who you truly are, with your nature, with your heart, with the specific energetic coding, that signature that is you. It takes you out of the collective pull of where we're pressured to do and who we're pressured to be, plugging you into the source of you and the source of all things. When I daydream, and that sounds to me like a very active process, and the real action is just setting aside the time and maybe doing a few things that let me connect in. But then it becomes a more, I'm not sure if I would say passive, but an allowing space that is without force and natural, organic, a space of witnessing what's moving through me, what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing. And sometimes what arrives are aspects of myself that want to be heard or healed or expressed in my daily life. Sometimes past lives have come to me, or entities that feel like they have something to offer me, that are of me or connected with me. Sometimes I just have nonsensical thoughts that spring up and seem funny or weird or different. Sometimes these connect up with real practical and inspired ideas, and other times it just fuels something of my creative life. And what I love is that it brings me to this messy, unkempt, unsanitized vibrance of aliveness that is full of possibility. It's not just stripped down or forced into one way of being, but connected to my knowing. Perhaps new ideas or awarenesses are already trying to reach you. And with a day-to-day schedule that doesn't quite allow for these to marinate in you or to incubate or sift to the surface, then these very important pieces of you may go unseen. Important ideas, desires, rich desires, those may be just suppressed. The messages that are coming from within you and through you, the mystery of your life, doesn't quite have so much mystery anymore, or aliveness, or adventure, or exploration. It just has a forced direction. Of course, that's a very exaggerated sense, but there's a way in which when I am go, go, go and have my to-do list and have my plan set out, I really flatten my experience. So this podcast today is an invitation for you to nourish and cultivate the symbolic and imaginal space of your spirit, to feed your soul, to feed the wild in you, to bring you to your natural self that wants to be seen and acknowledged and integrated into your daily life, and to strengthen your ability to see not only yourself at a deeper level, but to see the grander picture for yourself, to see a playful experience, exploration. Give value and worth to the beat and the pulse of your soul, the messages of your spirit, the parts of you that really know truth, really know how to be easeful, that are connected with this deeper source of life-giving energy, the essential being that wants to come through. So I want to talk about several ways to access and open up your daydreaming space, your dream space. And I also want to mention that sometimes it can be very hard to connect with your dream space because there are other feelings that want to be seen or healed or acknowledged at the forefront. This is especially if you've had experiences that have been undigested or leaving you with a trauma response or been overwhelming, that when you slow down and give a space without any plan, that those feelings may want to arrive at your door. And if that's the case, I would recommend getting support if you need it, tuning into some of the experientials on the podcast that support grounding or pendulating so that you can help your capacity grow to navigate these feelings, to build your resilience, and to move through some of the traumatic response. And as a basic support, if you become overwhelmed during the process of getting into your dream space or being in it, or if you start to feel a little bit like these feelings that are coming through are just a little bit too big for my body to handle, then just stop and look around your space and look for something pleasant. Look for something that can give you some sense of safety in the moment, that you're really safe right here and now, or some feeling of pleasure that allows you to feel your embodied safety and to take in that resource, that pleasant thing to look at, or a person that's nearby that can be supportive and remind you of being in this present moment. I would recommend doing that anytime you start to feel like it's a little too much. So some really good ways to access your dream space, your waking dream space, are to connect with a part of your body that feels neutral, pleasant, grounded, or calm, and just feel that part of the body. And then begin to let your mind wander and wander in its own way. Your attention just witnessing anything that comes. You can also do a body scan, is from head to toe, just feel your body, notice and witness each part of the body, allowing your senses to turn on. You could make contact with your body by touching from head to toe and feeling what kind of touch feels supportive. So each of these is really to bring yourself from that logical, mental, go, go, go space to sensing, feeling, and being. If you need some support with that, you can tune into some of the experientials I have. There's one at episode 59, Experiencing with the Five Senses, a Body Scan. And you can find that at candice.com/EP59. Another one to tune into is Grounding Touch and Listening. You can find that at candice.com/EP47. Another way to connect in is to just begin to witness and observe your own experience like a movie. A very simple thing to do is notice a couple of breaths just as they are, as you let go of your day, release any of your attention from going outward on your to-do lists or your daily tasks, and turn that attention inward with curiosity and openness. Anything really that brings your attention to or heightens the senses is going to help you turn on that more right brain activity of being, sensing, seeing, feeling, and connecting with the deeper parts of who you are. So, for example, listening to music that you enjoy, tasting something delicious and savoring it, taking a good whiff of essential oils, touching or holding something that makes you feel good, like crystals or blankets, stuffed animals, your own body, as we mentioned before. So these are just a few tips to open up your access point to your dream space. And as you sink into your dream space, the more you're able to just let go of your attention on your mental life and your logic and the sense making that goes on, analyzing, just letting that go on a bookshelf in your imaginal mind. If you need more of a visual, then that can let you really sink into being. This is the space of the felt sense and the space where you can catch a dream rather than dreaming. It's like catching a dream or harvesting the messages, awarenesses, the knowings, the creativity, the energy that's alive through you. And that is you. So catching your dream, noticing it, noticing what thoughts and feelings come up and just following it with your curiosity and your openness. Not having to make sense of anything in particular and not judging anything that comes through. Letting things come through without filter. And letting your knowing be your knowing. Letting your perception be your perception and what is happening to happen. To let what is alive in you and coming through you to be alive and be noticed. To let juiciness come through. What is wildly unknown, unseen. You never know what may appear or what will happen when there isn't that agenda, when there's just a space for nothingness, for being, for agreeing to being in this moment without any plan, without any expectation. So is this a kind of experience that you want to give yourself more often or give yourself altogether? Do you let yourself have any time to just daydream or to catch a dream? Is your soul or your heart calling you to do this more often? Do you have a feeling of stuckness or you can't quite move through to the next level of yourself, or writer's block or artist block, creativity block? Feeling like what you're doing in your life is not quite aligned with your vibrancy, your love or desire or passion? And if so, daydreaming might be part of the answer for you. So this is a pretty short episode today, and I'm curious what you all have to say or what comes up for you about daydreaming or about having this unplanned, fertile space and ground for your soul to thrive and to be seen, to unleash, to come to the surface. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your envisioning, or the inspirations that might come from just practicing this. And what I'll do later this week is offer a brief meditation to support accessing the dream space and to be with you through a segment of dream time where we can let this messy aliveness be heard and held. So stay tuned for that, or you can just jump right onto my website and find that experiential at candice.com/daydream. Thanks for tuning in today about this topic that can really allow our souls to wake up even more. I invite you to let the mystery of your life and your story, your soul, to come alive, and to spend a little more time daydreaming. Thanks so much for showing up today. If you'd like to stay plugged in with me through my newsletter, you can find that at candice.com/embody. And there I update you about events, podcasts, experientials, and news about my life and what is being offered, as well as self-love notes that come. And this is just about a once a month or every 3-week newsletter. Before you go, I also want to drop a little note about the podcast and the meditations that are on the podcast, that all the podcasts that have been published, every 101 of them, are searchable by a database on my website. You can find that at candice.com/podcast and search any topic. And if you want to find the meditations and experientials, those are specifically at candice.com/meditations. So for example, if you're looking for something on loving yourself or working with your energetic vibration or relationship breakups, you can search something in that database and see what pops up. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm wishing you a lovely dream time if you decide to plant that into your week. And I look forward to seeing you next time on the Embody Podcast.